Hello everyone, DeckTrolls here. Today I have for you my Cyber Dragon deck. Yeah, not much to say, just my Cyber Dragon deck. Remember, I have 100 plus budget-friendly decks, so please make sure to like and subscribe because there's going to be a lot of fun content coming your way. Also, if ever you want to run into me online, I oftenly use Dueling Nexus to either test out decks that I'm working on, or updating, or just having fun with. So, but I'm usually not recording because I do it in person. Yeah, let's get into this. You got 3 Cyber Dragon. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Got 3 Cyber Dragon Hers. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use one of the following effects of Cyber Dragon Hers once per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is special summoned, you can make this card's level become 5 until the end of this turn. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except machine type monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one other Cyber Dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You got 3 Cyber Dragon Core. When this card is normal summoned, add one spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You can only use one Cyber Dragon Core effect per turn, and only once that turn. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Now we got 3 Cyber Dragon Veer. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If you normal summon or special summon Cyber Dragon, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense. You can only use the effect of Cyber Dragon Veer once per turn. Each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. You got 3 Cyber Dragon Dre. When this card is normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons you currently control become level 5. You cannot special summon any monsters during the turn you activate this effect except machine type monsters. If this card is banished, you can target one Cyber Dragon you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. This turn, this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it is on the field or in the graveyard. You got 2 Cyber Valley. You can use one of these effects. When this card is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can banish this card, and draw a card, and the battle phase. You can target one face-up monster you control and this card, banish both that target and this card, then draw 2 cards. You can target one card in your graveyard, banish this card and one card from your hand, then place that target on top of the deck. Got 1 Cyber Eltanin. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing all light machine type monsters from your side of the hand and your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's attack and defense become the number of monsters banished for its special summon times 500. When this card is special summoned, send all other face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. And 1 Machina Fortress. You can discard machine type monsters whose total level equal 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Before resolving in a monster's effect, if that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand. Alright, now for the spells, we got 3 Cyber Repair Plant. If Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard at activation, you can activate both effects and resolve in sequence. You can only activate one Cyber Repair Plant per turn. Add one Light Machine type monster from your deck to your hand. Target one Light Machine type monster in your graveyard. Shuffle that target into your deck. You got 2 Evolution Burst. If you control a Cyber Dragon, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Cyber Dragons cannot attack during the turn you activate this card. You got 2 Power Bond. Fusion summon one machine type monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials, and it gains attack equal to its original attack. During the end phase of the turn this card is activated, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect at the time of the summon. You got 2 Overload Fusion. Fusion summon one Dark Machine type monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. 1 Overload Fusion. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as material. By shuffling the fusion material listed into the deck from among your cards on the field and or face-up banish cards, but monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except fusion summoned monsters. You can only activate one Cyberload Fusion per turn. Got 1 for 1. Send one monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon one level 1 monster from your hand or deck. 1 Machine Duplication. Select a face-up machine type monster you control with 500 or less attack. You can special summon up to 2 cards with the same name from your deck. And 1 Limit Removal. Double the attack of all machine type monsters you control at both the activation and resolution of this card until the end phase. During the end phase, destroy those monsters. Alright, now for the traps. We got 2 Cyber Network. Destroy this card during the 3rd standby phase after activation. Once per turn, if a Cyber Dragon is on your field, you can banish one light monster that's on the field, so your opponent or you. You can banish one light machine type monster from your deck. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, special summon as many of your banished light machine type monsters as possible. And if you do, destroy all spell and trap cards you control. Monsters that were special summoned by this effect cannot activate their effects. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. Got 1 Cybernetic Revolution. Tribute one Cyber Dragon. Special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as a material, but it cannot attack directly. And it is destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. You can only activate one Cybernetic Revolution per turn. 1 Call of the Haunted. Activate this card by targeting one monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face-up attack position. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. You got 1 Dimensional Prison. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster and banish that target. 1 Drowning Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares a direct attack, shuffle all your opponent's attack position monsters into the deck. 1 Quaking Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, change all your opponent's attack position monsters to face down defense position monsters changed to face down defense position by this card's effect cannot change their battle position. 1 Storming Mirror Force. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, return all your opponent's attack position monsters to the hand. Alright, that's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, we got 1 Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Requires 2 or more Cyber Dragons. A fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target spell trap cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Destroy them. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine type monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, for each monster sent to the graveyard, this card gains an additional attack during each battle phase of this turn. You got 2 Cyber Twin Dragon. Requires a Cyber Dragon and a Cyber Dragon. A fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials monsters. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. I'm sorry. By the way, it says a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. Now, that's not to say that it can't be special summoned from the extra deck, which is something you can do. But it can only be fusion summoned with 2 Cyber Dragons. But it can still be special summoned. That's just something to keep in mind. You got 1 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Requires a Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine type monsters. Cannot be used for a fusion material. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards from the either field to the graveyard. You do not use polymerization. The original attack of this card becomes 1,000 times the number of fusion materials used for its special summon. You got 1 Chimera Tech Overdragon. Requires 1 Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine type monsters. Must be fusion summoned. If this card is fusion summoned, send all face-up cards you control to the all other cards you control to the graveyard. The original attack and defense of this card become equal to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon times 800. Each turn, this card can attack your opponent's monsters up to the number of times equal to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. 1 Cyber Eternity Dragon. Requires 1 Cyber Dragon and 2 or more and 2 machine type monsters. If you have a machine type fusion monster in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this fusion summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, your opponent's cards cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You got 1 Cyber End Dragon. Requires 3 Cyber Dragons. A fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. This card can attack a defense position monster and inflict piercing damage. Again, it can be fusion summoned only with those materials, but it can still be special summoned by other ways. And you got 2 Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Requires 1 Cyber Dragon monster and 1 or more monsters in the extra monster zones. Cannot be used as a fusion material. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards from either the field to the graveyard. From either field to the graveyard. You do not use polymerization. The original attack of this card becomes 1,200 times the number of fusion materials used for its special summon. Now you've got 2 Cyber Dragon Nova. Requires 2 level 5 machine type monsters. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target 1 Cyber Dragon in your graveyard. Special summon that target. Once per turn, quick effect. You can banish one Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up from your monster's zone. Then this card gains 2100 attack until the end of the turn. If this card is in your possession and sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one machine type fusion monster from your extra deck. So that's what I was saying before. You can special summon Cyber End Dragon or Cyber Twin Dragon from the extra deck, but their fusion summon can only be done the traditional way. Which also isn't even true, because you could use things like the King of the Swamp. You got 2 Cyber Dragon Infinity. Requires 3 level 6 light machine type monsters. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Cyber Dragon Infinity by using Cyber Dragon Nova. You control as material, transfer its materials to this card. It gains 200 attack for each material attached to it. Once per turn, you can target one face-up attack position monster on the field. Attach that target to this card as face-up material. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can detach one material from this card and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Now you got 1 Cyber Dragon Seeker. Anyway, it's linked to, requires 2 machine type monsters including a Cyber Dragon. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. During each battle phase, if this card has not declared an attack, quick effect, you can target a machine type monster you control with 2100 or more attack. For the rest of the turn, that monster gains 2100 attack and defense. Also, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this monster. You can only use this effect of Cyber Dragon Seeker once per turn. And lastly, one of my fun tech cards, Barbour, the Ultimate Battle Machine. Requires 5 machine type Roid monsters, but like Cyber End Dragon and Cyber Twin Dragon, it can be special summoned from the extra deck without having to be fused. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. This card cannot attack your opponent directly. After damage calculation, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, negate the effects of that monster, including in the graveyard. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. So it's great because it has 4000 attack, has 4000 defense, it can attack twice. Sure, it can't attack directly, but it negates your opponent's monster's effects, and it burns them 1000 for each time that it attacks. So if it attacks twice, you're going to be doing a bunch of damage and burning for them for 2000. Alright, so that is my Cyber Dragon deck profile. So tell me what you think. What did you like? What did you dislike? What would you do to improve it? Yeah, I have 100 and plus budget-friendly decks, so please make sure to like and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot of fun content coming your way. Most importantly, have fun!